From the ABC7 I-Team, how to prevent the next global hotspot from boiling over, the tension in Taiwan, and the Metro Chicago Congressman who just returned from a high-stakes visit, even as the Chinese military stirs things up right offshore. Investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy joining us here tonight with new details on all of this. Chuck.
Judy, Northwest suburban Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi and the uphill battle that is Taiwan. The Schaumburg Democrat traveling with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan, Korea, and Japan, where former Chicago mayor and now Ambassador Rahm Emanuel rolled out the red carpet. But this was no summer vacation, with the possibility of a Chinese takeover of Taiwan dominating the trip. With bombs bursting in air during Chinese live fire drills, Chinese Air Force warplanes crisscrossing the sky, and a threatening presence from submarines for 5 days that simulated a Chinese takeover of the island nation, Speaker Pelosi and Congressman Krishnamoorthi made the pilgrimage to Taiwan with a small delegation from D.C.
We can't have a situation where the Chinese Communist Party militarily uses force against Taiwan the same way that Russia did with Ukraine. And so we have to bind together with our partners, allies, and friends in the region to prevent that from happening.
Between Krishnamoorthi's presence on such a high-level and high-stakes visit and the presence of this man as the top American diplomat in the region, Chicago seems at the pulse of the situation. Former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel, now ambassador to Japan, met with Pelosi, who received a warm welcome, and with the U.S. group that traveled here for a short visit.
Unfortunately, tensions have never been absent from that region. There have been live fire exercises long before we ever went to Taiwan. And of course, there have been since. I think this is reckless behavior. It's irresponsible of the Chinese Communist Party to do this.
With the outmanned and outgunned Taiwanese government putting up its own defensive display, backed up by this group of U.S. diplomats and a pledge to keep Taiwan a democracy.
We cannot cower in the face of these bullying tactics. Bullies prey on fear. They prey on weakness.
Besides Taiwan and Tokyo, the congressional delegation, or CODEL as it's known on Capitol Hill, touched down in Singapore, South Korea, Malaysia, and here a fuel stop at Pearl Harbor. Along the way, Krishnamoorthi noting that Chicago, USA is apparent across military bases and around the world. Always local airmen, soldiers, and sailors from Chicago in the forefront, waiting on China's next move now in Taiwan.